Before I even get started, let me ask you guys if you could kindly like, comment, and subscribe to the video. Go ahead, turn on that notification bell. I know people have different opinions and critiques to my videos and the topics that I talk about, but they are honestly from the heart. They are based on experience. Even if I'm not, like this topic is stepdad. I've never been a stepdad, but I've dated women where if I would have proceeded with it, it would have turned me into a stepdad. But yeah, like even if I'm not directly in the shoes, it's based on observation, almost being in the shoes of what I talk about. But it's all honest talking. It's all based on honest things that I've lived through. I've been around the world. I've been in different countries. I have a different perspective of life, and I can compare it to like the U.S. culture. I'm associated with, meaning I have relationships with, whether friendships, whether like communication, like even sometimes dating. I have different cultures that I can compare things to. So I know a lot of people haven't been through the same experience that I have in life, but my my communication is based on the overall things of everything that I have seen. I had a friend that told me that I seen so much in life that if I just tell like the average person that through a regular conversation, that it's going to make that person's jaw drop based on what I've seen, because a lot of people are not ready to hear the truth. I know a lot of, when a guy makes a YouTube or when a woman makes a YouTube, the opposite sex tends to take offense because we don't want to sit down and have honest talk or accountability on understanding one another, and then we jump into relationships with each other, and it just be toxic, or we avoid relationships and then later on in life we regret it. But we just never, especially at our crucial years, even at our young years, we never took the time to like understand what to expect, to understand each other, to look at examples and just withhold that judgment, and just talk and understand things. But anyway, to get to the topic, this video is about being a stepdad is a very risky job, and stepdads are very unappreciated. I want to use the example. Um, I know plenty women with multiple kids, right? That are above 28, some in their 30s, some in their 40s. I even know some in their 20s that have multiple kids, and there's nothing wrong with having multiple kids, but they have multiple kids and they either have one or more baby dads, and the financial capabilities of the baby dad or the responsible characteristics of the baby dads, the marital demand of the baby that these women have for their baby dads are kind of low. Like they didn't have certain requirements. Like they wanted like the bad guy or something. They didn't require that the baby dad to make a certain amount. Um, Maybe the baby dad was like in and out of jail or something like that. And because of life circumstances, like it put those women in a situation to where those baby dads mess with them emotionally and mentally, and kind of like damage them and psychologically mess with them to where they have certain they either avoid or they have certain requirements of the next man that they talk to, because it's a root of like damage, like they already been damaged with experience with the man that they chose. In my culture, the black and brown, and even some white or whatnot, a lot of women early on in life and sometimes even later want to go for like the bad guys, because there is this saying that a good guy is not going to win. Like the bad guys always win and the good guys lose, and I do think that that's true. I think that what I observed, like for example, if there's a guy that's 20 years old, a freshman in college, and he doesn't drink, typically a lot of those women are not going to vibe with a guy that does not drink. They're going to get drunk at these parties. They're going to make out with or hook up with the guys that do drink. And I'm not saying anything is wrong with that, but even if it's not college involved, even if it's like in the street, they gonna want the guys that got like the deeper criminal history, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that to judge them, but typically these guys put babies in these women. A lot of these women do say that the guys are bad, but they, the guys put babies in these women, change their body, waste their time, waste their safe pregnancy age range, and just give them babies and turn them into single moms. Bodies change, and it's the mental aspect that affects these women. Then later on in life, these women probably, well, these women typically have a requirement for the next guy that they be with after they have like so many like kids, that the next guy has to have a certain amount, um, has to be like responsible, and some of them would even go as far as saying like there can't be any kids that the guy has, right? Even though the lady may have kids. So a lot of times those guys are in a stepdad role, and the woman didn't have a requirement of their previous baby dads that they had to get married to them before any sexual encounter could happen. But the stepdad, they may have that. They typically do have that requirement of them. They require like a marriage. They required this man to make a certain amount, even though they didn't have that for the previous man that they dealt with that gave them kids, and just like a lot of things that the stepdad has to have or be willing to do just to have a night out with them, um, and probably even get lucky. Many men talk about this. I interviewed a lot of men. Going to put those videos out later on this year, and it's no secret that this does happen. Um, those stepdads are still typically a set, even though they have so much, financial responsibility. They're financially responsible. They're just responsible in life. They may have good credit. They take care of their health. They have all of these good contributions or aspects within them, but even the woman will say that these are guys that they have to like settle for because they still know like they initially wanted that bad guy. So a lot of times, and I've seen a lot of stories where the stepdad will bring in a woman, um, take care of her, probably put a ring on her, and sacrifice his life. And I've seen many stories where like the woman would cheat on that guy with one of the previous baby dads, and then divorce him, take half or all that he has, and then you know um, use that with the previous baby dad that she has, and then that previous baby dad end up leaving her again, and then like you got the stepdad just sacrificed all of that time, sacrificed all that he worked so hard to get, not having his own kids, taking care of her kids, um, sacrificing his time just for her to have time to spend time with him because she does have kids. So like the stepdad just ends up like assed out, man. And with that said, I just think that stepdad is a risky role, and I don't think that they're appreciated at all. Most of the time, maybe I feel that women born in like the 70s, 60s, and 50s, they're at an age where their kids are more of an adult, and the stepdad wouldn't have that responsibility of taking care of their kids because they're already grown. But if you're a stepdad dealing with a woman that have like kids that are like actively kids, like meaning they have to be like supervised when they're not at school, they have to be provided for. I feel that women in that are in those situations and that seek a stepdad, there are unreal standards, or better yet, unfair standards to get around these women, and it kind of doesn't make sense. And when a guy decides, like it doesn't make sense, he gets attacked. And even like I said earlier, like these guys are still like settled for by these women. So like these women would never admit the value of those men, even when they have so many kids and failed like relationships. And this is not to talk down on those women, but those women would still down talk the value of that man just to have this crown on their head of they're like the prize. I hate that debate. Like everybody wants to be the prize, but those women will always say like, "Oh, I'm the prize," and they'll just ignore everything that this guy provides that the baby dads didn't, and they'll set this certain standard, and then like that guy would have to come down to that, even though he would risk so much in his life. And then that guy, when he has like one disagreement or something, those women would typically like down talk him, bad talk him to the friends. And even when that guy does decide to come to those agreements, he still has to deal with like the baby dad uh drama. Like if the baby dad makes her mad, the stepdad has to deal with that. When he's not working, he has to deal with now a new attitude for a man that doesn't even like live in the house. He has to deal with those kids may be bad and he can't discipline those kids, and if he does discipline, it opens up, like a law violation where that guy may go to jail or have to deal with like the baby dad. Not that he's scared, but he may have things to lose. He may have to deal with drama from the baby dad's family, and this is only talking about one baby dad. So imagine if it's multiple. I just feel that being a stepdad is underappreciated. My best advice for women to do is make it be known. Like if you do want a stepdad around your kids, you should make it be known. You should show appreciation. You should have some understanding. You should respect that man. You should value the characteristics and the contributions that he could provide. Don't judge him if he will weigh his options, because you weighed your options. And this is not to talk down on women. I know I've been sounding like I'm talking down on women because I'm talking about this. There are some bad men out there that good women have had kids with them, and again, it turns into accountability. But I only say that to say that there are actually like some bad dads that tricked some good women. But all I'm saying is that the stepdad didn't do that to these women, so the stepdad shouldn't have to deal with the emotional toll. I mean, I get it being around someone, even though they're emotional, they've been hurt, but the stepdad shouldn't have to assume responsibility or be attacked because what the previous baby dad did. Um, to make this video a little shorter, man, yeah, I just feel like the stepdad is underappreciated, and I wonder if women are willing to um, want to listen to like a stepdad and be submissive. And because if you don't submit to that stepdad, if you're not showing him respect, if you're not acknowledging the value that he brings, your kids are not going to respect it or value it, and it's going to make his life harder to be around you, because now he got your kids that are not even his, that are like disrespecting him, not showing him respect. You're not my dad type stuff. And it all started with the mom showing, some respect, loyalty, and appreciation, and cutting down on these unreal standards. And then, if women decide to show all of those, things like respect and everything, it could create a better situation. But I rarely see that happen, man. And that's why a lot of guys say that being a stepdad is a huge risk or even like a bad investment, especially for men that are 30 and above. And a lot of men will typically avoid that and probably date younger because statistically, um, if they date another woman that's 30 years old or above, it's a high chance that they will be a stepdad. So a lot of men do date younger to avoid those problems, but they would even get attacked for dating younger, even if it's on legal grounds. Like you talking about, like 22-year-old woman with a 30-year-old guy. So I just feel like being a stepdad is a risky role. Um, every stepdad, I would just say be careful, make sure you appreciate it. Even if you're a stepmom, if you're dealing with a guy that got a lot of kids, make sure you appreciate it. I'll do another video on that. Um, yeah, and for the stepmoms, I feel your life would be a lot better if you just don't judge this video, watch it thoroughly through. Don't judge off of the message, just hear what I'm saying, and it's going to help you treat man like better, especially like when you're in a situation. You don't want to admit that you like need man. You don't want to admit it that you might need this man, or even if you don't, like you might want to like struggle and pay or do all of that. But if you know internally that you really do need this person, let it be known. Let it be known not only through words but through action, through appreciation, and I promise you, your life will be a lot better for you and your kids. That man could possibly teach your kids good credit. If they dad didn't have good credit, probably if their mom don't, how are they gonna have good credit? That having that stepdad around decreases the chance, if it's a minority son, stepson, of going to jail or being arrested or getting involved in like street life that could take his life at an early age. It's just a lot of benefits of having that stepdad around, and it's more benefit for the woman and the kids than it is for that guy. And I mean that just to be honest, man. Like, comment, and subscribe. I hope women don't take this as me like attacking them. That's never my intention, man. As I mentioned earlier, I've been hearing, well, I heard a few times that a woman called my content weird, and she has a lot of like friends that went on with that. So like they say like, oh, this dude is weird and a creep, and it's because of the things that I'll talk about, even though it's like from the heart, man. But anyway, like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell, and thank y'all for supporting the channel. And peace out.